Imagine getting into a car and unknowingly sitting inside a machine designed to hurt you.
No airbags. No crumple zones.
Not even a headrest. One wrong move and the car turns against you. Today, you and I are diving deep into 13 of the most dangerous, shocking, and downright deadly car features ever put on the road. Features so bad, it's a miracle anyone survived them. Before modern safety standards, stepping into a car was like stepping into a steel coffin on wheels. Cars looked cool. Big chrome grills, massive engines, smooth bench seats. But behind the beauty lived engineering decisions so reckless, so avoidable, that they ended countless lives. We're going to explore each one, not like a boring list, but like a journey through the evolution of safety, and the shocking mistakes that forced the modern world to change the rules forever. So buckle up, ironically, because many of the features we're about to discuss were invented long before buckles were. 13. Rear gas tank placement, the rolling firebomb. Picture this, you're stopped at a red light. A car hits you from behind at just 20 or 25 miles per hour. Today, you might deal with a dented bumper. Back then, your entire car might explode. Some vehicles, especially the infamous Ford Pinto, placed the gas tank directly behind the rear bumper, practically exposed. One minor collision could rupture the tank, spray gasoline, and turn the car into a massive fireball. People didn't die from impact, they died trapped in burning cars. Later internal documents revealed the unthinkable. Ford calculated that paying lawsuits was cheaper than fixing the problem. This wasn't bad engineering. This was a corporate gamble with human life. And it's still one of the darkest scandals in automotive history. 12. Neck-level shoulder belts, the seatbelt that wanted you dead. Before the standard 3-point seatbelt became universal, automakers tried a different idea. A diagonal shoulder belt with no lap belt. Worse, it sat way too high. Meaning, instead of protecting your chest, it could snap your neck. In crashes, people suffered bruised windpipes, jaw injuries, facial cuts, strangulation, even fatal neck trauma. Some belts locked instantly on impact, yanking your body by the neck like a rope. They were so uncomfortable that drivers tucked them behind the seat rather than wear them. And who could blame them? A safety device should protect you, not choke you. 11. Lap-only seat belts, the internal organ destroyer. One strap, across the waist. Nothing to hold your torso. Sounds harmless until you realize the physics of a crash. With no shoulder restraint, all your forward momentum focused on one place, your abdomen. Doctors coined a term for the injuries these belts caused, seat belt syndrome. Victims experienced torn intestines, ruptured stomachs, crushed pelvises, spinal fractures, internal bleeding. And many kids simply submarined, sliding under the belt and snapping their spine. People sometimes walked away from a crash, only to collapse hours later from internal injuries. It took decades for regulators to realize. A half seatbelt is sometimes worse than none at all.
10 suicides d'ors élégants.
Until they rip you out. They looked stylish, especially on 1930s luxury cars. Rear-hinged doors that opened backward. But here's the deadly flaw. If the latch wasn't fully locked, rushing air could yank the door wide open like a parachute. And without seatbelts, passengers were sucked straight out of the cabin. Even worse, in a crash, these doors jammed. Rear passengers couldn't escape unless the front door opened first. They didn't call them suicide doors for nothing. 9. Water balloon bumpers, bumpers that literally popped. In the 1970s, manufacturers were forced to design bumpers for 5 miles per hour impacts. Some brands got creative, too creative. They built fluid-filled bumpers, known by frustrated mechanics as water balloon bumpers. The idea? Fluid inside a cylinder would absorb the shock. The reality? Seals leaked, fluid evaporated, cold weather froze them, heat expanded them, and yes, many burst on impact. These bumpers failed when you needed them most. They were more like decoration than protection. 8. Twist swivel seats, the seats that could throw you out. General Motors thought it was genius. Seats that rotate outward so you could enter and exit easily. Luxury, comfort, convenience. Except for one tiny problem. If the latch wore out, the seat could swivel mid-drive. Imagine turning left and suddenly your seat rotates. You're thrown sideways, losing control. Passengers could literally be tossed from the vehicle. And since most cars still used lap-only belts, nothing stopped your body from becoming airborne. A cool idea on paper, a nightmare on the highway. 7. Swing-away steering wheels when the wheel moves on its own. Ford introduced a swinging steering column that slid right to let drivers exit gracefully. Convenient? Sure. Safe? Not even close. As the mechanism aged, locks failed, steering loosened, wheels shifted mid-drive, some partially disconnected during collisions. Imagine your steering wheel sliding away while you're driving at 60 miles per hour. It turned convenience into pure chaos. 6. Metal dashboards, the steel face breakers. Before the 70s, dashboards weren't padded. They were solid slabs of steel.
No airbags.
No soft materials. Just hard metal everywhere. In crashes, your face, knees, chest slammed into steel. And then came the chrome decorations. Sharp knobs, shiny trims, metal clock frames. All potential spears and blades. Even minor fender benders could cause disfiguring injuries. 5. No crumple zones, cars that looked strong but killed you. Old school thinking, if the car doesn't bend, it's safer. Reality, if the car doesn't absorb the impact, your body does. Modern cars are designed to fold in certain areas. Older cars weren't. They stayed rigid and transferred all crash energy straight to passengers. Tests show the difference. Modern cars, crushed front end, passengers survive. Older cars, look undamaged, but people inside suffer catastrophic injuries. Strength without engineering is brutality. 4. Bench seats, beautiful, comfy, and deadly. The classic bench seat. Smooth, white, perfect for dates. Terrifying for safety.
No bolstering.
No side support. Nothing to keep you in place. During sharp turns or sudden stops, you slid like a bar of soap. Drivers were thrown across the cabin. Passengers became projectiles. No seatbelts meant no chance. Should they ever come back? Only if you're filming a vintage movie, not for real driving. 3. Sharp chrome interiors, beauty that cut like a knife. Mid-century cars loved chrome. Everywhere. Dashboards, steering wheels,
Door panels.
knobs, switches. It looked glamorous. Until a crash turned it all into shrapnel. Fingers were sliced. Faces were cut. Metal embedded into skin. Even low-speed crashes caused serious injuries. Eventually, regulations forced manufacturers to switch to safer materials. Shiny? Yes. Safe? Absolutely not. 2. Non-collapsible steering columns, the chest spear. Before 1967, steering columns were solid metal rods aimed directly at your heart. In a crash, they didn't compress. They didn't bend. They pierced. Thousands of deaths were caused by chest injuries from steering columns acting like spears. It wasn't until regulations mandated collapsible columns that this deadly design finally disappeared. 1. No headrests, the silent spine killer. They looked elegant, smooth seatbacks with no protrusions. But in a rear-end collision, your head snapped backward with nothing to support it. The result? Whiplash, nerve damage, spinal cord injuries, paralysis, death. Because these injuries weren't visible, people dismissed them. But the internal damage was life-changing. Only after research showed headrests could prevent thousands of injuries did they finally become mandatory in 1969. Cars today are safer than ever. Not because companies wanted them to be, but because people suffered, protested, and demanded change. These 13 features are reminders of who paid the price for progress. If you found even one of these features shocking, imagine what else history is hiding. Hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe, because we've got more hidden automotive stories coming your way. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's next.